The deal supported by President Trump aims to avert a partial government shutdown.
Now, lawmakers are now in a race against the clock to get the spending deal through both chambers. Peyton May joins us in studio to explain how we got here and what could happen next.
Yes, good morning, Brandon. A bill which would have funded Homeland Security and other agencies through September failed to pass in a test vote. The funding fight comes amid outrage over two deadly shootings in Minneapolis involving ICE agents. Democrats vowed to vote against the entire spending bill, arguing they want to curb immigration enforcement before any checks are written and sent out. Several Republicans signaled they were open to new restrictions after the two fatal shootings, but want to move forward with funding other government agencies to avoid a shutdown. Now, in a rare deal made late last night between Democrats and President Trump, the funding for Homeland Security will be separated out from the rest of the spending bill while Congress debates reforming ICE.
What ICE is doing outside the law is state-sanctioned thuggery, and it must stop.
I'm willing to entertain some reforms to make sure that we rein in ICE appropriately and make it more professional. But the cancer that we're dealing with is sanctuary city policy.
Democrats want stricter rules on immigration enforcement, including body cameras, identification requirements, and limits on roving patrols. Some Republicans say this is a political distraction at the public's expense, while others have said they're willing to talk about those issues. While Congress works out those policies, DHS will get a short-term temporary funding extension. The Senate is scheduled to meet this morning. If the Senate and House don't approve the measures, a partial government shutdown will begin at midnight. Reporting, I'm Peyton May for Good Day.
All right, Peyton, thanks. Fox News anchor Shannon Bream with Fox News Sunday joins me now to discuss today's political headlines. Good morning to you.
Good to see you, Brandon.
All right, so I keep thinking of last year's shutdown, and now we're kind of in that same position again. So how close are we to averting a shutdown?
Well, it looks like we're going to have at least a mini in some way, because even if you get this deal through the Senate today, and there's going to be, we understand, another vote around 11 a.m. Eastern, it doesn't sync up with what the House sent over, meaning the House still has to pass whatever the Senate agrees to, and that's not a sure thing. The House isn't in session right now. They come back Monday, but already I've talked to a number of members who say, depending on what deal is hammered out, they may be a no. So at least over the weekend, we're going to have some partial lapse, but we'll see.
Yeah, so, and there seems to be kind of maybe a turning of the tides when it comes to the president's approach to ICE enforcement.
Yeah, because as your reporter talked about there are some things that there seems to be some bipartisan agreement on. There are things like body cameras. You know, both sides feel like that would help give transparency, give clarity, and give confidence to people about what ICE is or isn't doing. But there are other things that they're just not going to compromise on. The use of warrants and allowing ICE agents to wear masks. Those are kinds of things. But I do think Tom Homan going in the speech that he gave yesterday, talking about policy changes, like trying to work with the state and local governments, it sounds like that's turned down the temperature a bit, but not everybody is singing Kumbaya just yet.
Yeah, and I suspect you'll be talking a lot about this Sunday morning, yes?
We will. We've got Senator Lindsey Graham with us. And by the way, he's one of the senators who's holding up this deal that's sitting there in the Senate for this vote this morning. We also, from the other side of the aisle, will have Senator Chris Murphy, and they both see very different policy changes for ICE. So we'll see about that. But both of them, we're going to talk about foreign policy as well. Iran, we've amassed a lot of military assets there. Are we planning or thinking or considering a strike on Iran? We've got Venezuela, the U.S., Ukraine, and Russia meet this weekend as well, trying to end that conflict. So a lot of foreign policy, and we've got a slew of new polls as well. All
right, looking forward to it, Shannon. We'll see you then. Thanks.
Thanks, Brandon.
All right, Fox News Sunday with Shannon Bream airs right here Sunday morning at 8 a.m.